Yo, what is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, we are going to be doing a squad builder. Now, this squad builder is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be a 100K squad builder. It's not going to be a budget squad builder. It's not going to be a 1 million MT squad builder. It's not going to be if my lineup, or if I had to play 250K today, what would my lineup be? This squad builder, throw it back to 2K19. No position locks at all. What would my squad look like? If I was to go out there today, and let's say in a massive tournament with no position locks, what would my squad be like? That is what I'm going to be going over today. But before we dive into that, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, please consider smashing that subscribe button as we're on the road to 70,000 subscribers. So let's start it off with the starting point guard position. Now, I'm going to go kind of traditional with this one. And when I say kind of traditional, I don't want you guys to say, okay, here he goes. He's just going to stay traditional. With Ben Simmons, though, you can't, it's hard for me to argue that he shouldn't be on your squad, right? I mean, in my opinion, he's still 6'10". He's still, one of the best point guards in the game. Not only a primary point guard, but if you could have any point guard in the game, he's still going to be one of the best. Has the Hall of Fame showtime, has range extender, has a pretty smooth release. I think whether you're current gen, next gen, either one, Ben Simmons is that elite. He's one of the, in my opinion, the favorite cards to use as far as the community in general. And I get it. We don't have position locks. He's eligible to play point guard. Even with that, guys, throw him in there at the point guard position because I'm that high on Ben Simmons. Now the shooting guard position, this is where things start to change for the better. We're going to plug in Danny Ferry right here, the fake card himself. Now, if you're on next gen, you might want to throw him at that point guard position, but on current gen, I think he's best at that two guard as kind of that secondary ball handler. Think of a Kevin Durant. But think of a better Kevin Durant. The way Danny Ferry is going to be able to move on current gen is just ridiculous. And at the 3 or 4, you can't really, you can use him as a ball handler. But at the 2, I think that's where his best position would be. He can shoot literally like the best in the game because of what release he has. And then attacking the rim is very incredible as well. And I just feel like at the small forward, power forward position, he doesn't get as involved as maybe I would like him to be. That's why I'm throwing him in there at that starting shooting guard position. Then on to the small forward position, we're going to throw one of my favorite players in the game, Pink Diamond Bobo. Again, if you could have him at the shooting guard position, I would. It just didn't really work with my bench, especially with, him and Danny Ferry. I wanted both at the shooting guard. So I just thought Bobo at small forward still would be very elite. I don't really, on next gen, again, I think at the shooting guard position, he would be incredible. Current gen, he can still move a little bit better, but I think at that small forward position, that's the best overall position for him. Can still move and groove, can still speed glitch on current gen, has only gold showtime, but can shoot the ball lights out as long as you get his release down. Bobo, in my opinion, with his 7'2" frame and just kind of his wingspan, is best at that small forward position. Now I have power forward and center. This is the duo I would love to run. First of all, if Kareem had power forward eligibility, I would love it. Now, the reason for it, I set a lot of screens with my centers. So if Kareem's playing power forward, he's going to stand in the corner a lot, and that's fine because he is green man from that corner with his quick release. You compare that to Shaq and Wilt. Shaq and Wilt's release takes a little bit longer to develop. That's why I like Kareem at my 4. Plus, he's still, 7'2". So we go, so far my starting lineup, 6'10", 6'10", 7'2", 7'2". We got an average height right now of 7 feet tall. And we haven't even gotten to the center position yet. And that's why I love, if there were no position locks, I would love this lineup. Maybe that's something 2K should think of. Forget what I just said. But I'm just saying, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at the 4 is something I would absolutely love to try out. And so far, all these guys is one position off, right? Ben is perfect at the point guard. Ferry has small forward eligibility, move him one down. Bobo has power forward eligibility, move him one down. Kareem has center eligibility, and we are moving him down one spot as well. Now, at the center position, we're going with the big diesel himself and Shaquille O'Neal. The wide body at 325 pounds, maybe even bigger, 7'1", gets my average starting height to 7'1". Or not to 7'1", over 7 feet tall is what I meant to say. Not quite rounded up to 7'1". But that's just insane to me to think about. Each and every one of these cards, I do believe, has Hall of Fame range outside of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is only going to have that on gold. Each one of these players is going to be able to defend at a high level, and imagine trying to get through a press with all of this length out there. I couldn't even imagine trying to go against this starting lineup. Like, I created it, but I would never in my years imagine playing against it. Like, it would just be the most toxic lineup ever to run. So if you're thankful for one thing in 2K this year, be thankful for position locks. Otherwise, you guys would see Bobo at the 3, Kareem at the 4, and Danny Ferry at the 2, and you'd be running up against lineups like this. Now, for my bench, I would say right now, I want you guys to know my bench is a more traditional type lineup. Now, it's still pretty toxic in kind of how tall it is and kind of what it gives me, but it's way more traditional. You're not going to get an average height of 7'1" on my bench. But to start things off, we're going with the point guard Giannis Antetokounmpo, a card who we are eventually going to get. But right now we don't have one, and I would love running him at the point guard position. I see a lot of people, especially on CringeGen, running their offense through a power forward Giannis, and I can't even imagine how a point guard Giannis is going to look. Going to probably be the best card in the game when he does come out. Now, the one thing about a point guard Giannis is he only has an 85 3-ball and doesn't have hot spots from all around the key. But the more I play people with Giannis, the more I realize how good his release is. People green like crazy against me with Giannis, and that's something you can't take away from the card. He has a butter release, and the thing is, he's 6'11" with his 7'4" wingspan, and we all know he just is Giannis. Giannis is always different in 2K. So he's starting off my bench. Now, I thought about going a couple different ways here, and this is ultimately the way I decided. We're going to go with Andre Kirilenko at the 2. The reason I decided for this is because I went for just a little more defense. It ultimately came down to Tracy McGrady or Andre Kirilenko. And because of this, I just think Andre Kirilenko gives me more defense. And you guys know I love defense. He can shoot the ball very, very well. The only thing about it is he's not going to be that great of a playmaker. So with this, we're going to plug in a power forward eventually in this squad, who I think can make a lot of plays as well. But AK-47, one of the best defensive players in the game, has a very knockdown release, especially on current gen. Next gen, he does have Hall of Fame blinders. And in my opinion, I've always loved Andre Kirilenko. Now, a lot of people are going to say, Ty, Andre Kirilenko really isn't like that anymore. Just plug KD in there, plug T-Mac in there. No, I love Andre Kirilenko, and the reason I love him is for his defense. At the small forward position, we're going with an exchange reward in Galaxy Opal Bobby Jones. So really, I'm higher on Bobby Jones right now at this current moment than AK-47, but I do think it is super, super, super close. Now, in my opinion, Bobby Jones, you don't even need to throw him out of position. Just throw him at that small forward position. He's going to do what he needs to do. Think of Bobo, but just a smaller version. Going to play defense. He's a way better defensive player than Bobo, but Bobo's size gives him that kind of versatility. But on offense, you don't need them to do that much. Bobo can on next gen, even on current gen, the speed glitch is crazy. But just stand there, catch the ball, and shoot the ball, right? You can make, both those guys can make plays. But at my small forward, I never need guys to do too much. They just need to just hold their own, play good defense, knock down open shots, and make an occasional play. That's why I went with Bobby Jones there at that small forward position. Power forward, we're going to get another guy that can make plays. Now, in my gameplay, I didn't play that well with Blake Griffin. I'll be the first person to admit that. And again, not a guy who's going to be out of position. So yes, we got 2 out of position players in my bench, but that's going to be it. Bobby Jones at the 3, Blake Griffin at the 4. I like him at power forward because just think of this, right? Blake Griffin, in my opinion, with my bench, I'll probably run him as a pick and pop guy. So he's going to be kind of that center type player, but I'm going to run him at the 4. And in the pick and pop game with him and Giannis, what are you going to do? Are you going to send 2 bodies at Giannis if a guy gets hit by a screen? Or are you going to stay attached to Blake and just allow Giannis to get Showtime dunks? That's kind of the decision you're going to have to make. Because ultimately, Blake Griffin has one of the most knockdown releases in the pick and pop game. His Pink Diamond is a card I absolutely fell in love with. His Dark Matter is probably a card I'll eventually fall in love with it too. I wouldn't be surprised if in a week or 2, I'll start running Blake Griffin on my current squad. Because right now, look, the center and power forward position is stacked with Bobo, Kareem, Shaq, and our last guy right here, who is going to be Dark Matter Wilt Chamberlain. Now, ultimately, guys, if you wanted to create the, craziest lineup ever, you could put Wilt at the 2 in your starting lineup, and Giannis at the 1, and you'd have the average height there of 7'1", 7'2". But I think this overall balanced out a little bit better. You got Giannis at the 1, who is 6'11", AK at the 2, 6'9", Bobby Jones at the 3, 6'9", Blake at the 4, 6'10", Wilt at the 5, who is 7'1". Average height here, probably 6'10", 6'11". But what I like with Wilt is, you know, he's him, Shaq, Kareem, throw them all into that kind of center type build. They can't play power forward, but if they could, you could get really glitchy with it. Wilt has the Hall of Fame range center, has a decently easy release to green. There is a hitch in it, but even with the hitch, I think you can make Wilt Chamberlain work. Now, after this, I'm going to fill out the rest of my squad on just guys that I think could create a glitchy lineup. The next guy I'm going to add is a guy I would never recommend anybody locking in, but a guy who I think could be very, very glitchy in Ralph Sampson. Like, if you want to create a glitchy lineup, throw a guy like Bobo at point guard, throw Kareem at shooting guard, Shaq at small forward, Wilt at power forward, and Ralph at center. If you really wanted to do that, you absolutely could. Now, again, I'm not that high on Ralph. Just throwing that idea out there for those of you who kind of want to run the most AIDS lineup possible. Now, it would be wrong of me not to add this guy, because this guy was probably the closest guy to making the top 10. And Dark Matter T-Mac. Again, a card I thought about putting in there over Andre Kirilenko, and if you guys want to, you can. He gives you a little bit more offense, but isn't quite as good on the defensive end. And honestly, release-wise, you can say, okay, T-Mac has a smooth release, but I don't mind AK's release at all. So debate a wall whether you want T-Mac or AK. Either one of them you could throw in there. And then this last guy I'm going to throw in there is a guy who I think could be versatile at the shooting guard position in Chris Bosh. Now, again, you're not going to think of him as a shooting guard, but tell me I'm wrong. Tell me Chris Bosh with that release wouldn't be a tough shooting guard in the game. Again, I like AK's versatility a little bit more. I like his defense. But if it was just the offensive end of the court, Chris Bosh would definitely be on my squad. Let me know down below in the comments, guys, what your thoughts are on this squad. I think without position locks, we could have a lot more fun. Now, maybe you guys disagree, and let me know if you guys disagree down below in the comments. But I think running squads like this could be more fun for the community, or maybe they should create a separate mode without position locks. I don't know. I just think it'd be fun to run that starting lineup and just see what happens. But let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.